Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I wanted to show you this tweet right out of the gate. Check this out. This is pretty good stuff from Stefan Huber. No matter how many fairy tales of volcanological energy and thermodynamical soundness the Bitcoin maxis try to sell to you, and how many times they pray their mantra of eternal anti-regulation for Bitcoin, the future does not look that flowery anymore. And he's got this document here. Not sure what this is from. Let me see if I can see. City Week 2021. Okay. Financing a sustainable global recovery. Climate change preparing for COP26 and road to net zero. Where have you heard that phrase? Climate risk scenario planning, future of market-based carbon pricing and implications for investors. U.S. new climate change strategy, climate change reporting methodologies, latest developments in fraud and money laundering, role of private finance and achieving net zero, climate change portfolio alignment. I mean, you can see it, folks. You can see it. It's plain as day. I don't think it's a coincidence that China is getting rid of the mining. I think China wants to look like a part of this climate solution. I think they've been working with the World Economic Forum and all the UN and all these organizations for all these years. I think you're watching a plan rolled out. Now, I was on a walk yesterday, and every once in a while when I'm on a walk, I like to go and find the Bitcoin maxis of Bitcoin maxis, or not just Bitcoin, but the Bitcoin / Ethereum maxis, the hardest core that I can find, because I like to remind myself every once in a while of just how delusional these people that are Bitcoin and Ethereum and nothing else. And you need to see it just to remind yourself of how on it we really are in the, not just XRP, but the digital assets that we've been talking about the last week or so. There's a handful that are plugged into this world, how the financial world is going to completely change with distributed ledger technology. We're right over the target. These people are so far off the target, you have to see it every once in a while just to appreciate it.
Do you feel
confident? This guy is from DAP University, is apparently an Ethereum, quote, expert. Now, listen to what this guy has to say.
Ethereum can solve that transaction issue and could actually host effectively CBDCs and have that transaction rate and the cost down low enough.
Right. So, Ethereum, for everybody who's kind of trying to figure out how does Ethereum work, what's the transaction fees are too high. That's the thing that gets people really freaked out whenever they try to use it. Nobody's ever going to use this because it costs too much, it's too slow, too expensive. So we are on a roadmap for making this much better, and we're going to get improvements from lots of different things. So EIP 1559 is the improvement proposal that you're talking about, slated for launch towards the end of July, maybe beginning mid-August. We have some updates on that. That's going to help with the fees somewhat, but fees are going to get burnt with transactions, which can actually help with the price appreciation each other time. Faster and much cheaper to use because you offload some of those transactions onto a separate environment and the results actually settle on top of the main chain itself. And then, of course, we're going to get a big bump out of ETH2. The merge is slated for the end of this year, optimistically, but more realistically, probably the beginning of 2022. And all these things are going to make Ethereum way faster to the vision that people want for Ethereum. I mean, you go read Vitalik's papers about it. All this stuff is broken down the real nerdy geek speak, but those are the three big factors that are going to be big for Ethereum on its roadmap pretty soon. And that gets Ethereum ready for prime time.
So while they're getting ready for prime time, a collection of these are already working with these central banks. We know that Ripple's working with over 50 central banks and has been for over a year or two. Okay? This is delusion, but it's important that you see the delusion. Now, I'm not saying that Ethereum 2.0 will not be successful in any way. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you've been watching financial sleight of hand with Bitcoin and Ethereum. I believe that they were tests. I believe they were intentional tests. At least proof of work was the test. And I believe Ethereum was a part of that. I believe that's why the SEC left Ethereum alone. I think they intentionally, think about it. I made the point yesterday. Think about it for a minute. They admitted, Jay Clayton 1,000 times, 2017, ICOs are this problem. If you think you're going to roll out and you're going to have a security, well, we regulate that. It was a big thing. They went after this one, then it went after this one, but it was like selective enforcement. But they didn't go after the root of the problem. All those ICOs were built on Ethereum. They were intentionally letting Ethereum go. They were letting it do its thing because I believe Ethereum proof of work was a test. But again, I'm not telling you that I don't think Ethereum is going to go up in value. I think that the run up to Ethereum 2.0, I think that's the getting off point for some of these major investors. I believe they want to see it through to Ethereum 2.0. I believe there's going to be a run up. I'm even betting my own money on it. I told you, I have some of the Ethereum, it's that thing in my IRA that's the grayscale product. I bought some of that on a dip a while back because I think it's going to do a run up to Ethereum 2.0. But it's not what they're building the CBDCs on. Not. Look at these names if you want to see that. Okay. Now, XRP sent me this. This is huge. Listen up. 6 leading banks back Swift's new international. This is what's really going on, folks. New international payments platform. The banks include Citi, Bank of China, BNP Paribas, and Deutsche Bank. 6 of the world's biggest banks endorsed the new platform. Here's the banks. Swift is a global messaging. Then it says the new platform is set to include features such as upfront validation and beneficiary details, extension of Swift's high-speed system to lower value payments, and incorporation of the Universal Messaging Standard for International Payments, ISO 20022. There have been suggestions that Swift could be made redundant by growth in use of digital currency, be it crypto, stable coins, or central bank digital currencies. I think they're going to complement Swift. I think Swift is going to be like plugged into Ripple and all these things. Now look, ISO 20022. This was from Marcus Treacher from Ripple back in June 10th, 2020. Look at what he says. Now, we're thrilled to share that Ripple is a part of the ISO 20022 Registration Management Group standards body and the first member focused on distributed ledger technology. This membership enables us to meet the needs of our 300 plus customers by helping define the future direction of cross-border payment standards to evolve the ISO 20022. Then there was this, many of you may have forgotten. This was a sheet that was put together by, I don't know who, but this was a tweet put out. ISO 222 estimates that will be supporting 87% of financial transaction by 2023, and then goes on XRP 1050, XDC 100, ADA 50, Algo 500. Time will tell. Exactly. But this is one of the more interesting documents that I've seen in the last year. Because now look, this is a prediction. I'm not saying I agree with the prediction, but I am saying I'm not here for less than $100 XRP. Never have been. As we have all probably heard, XRP will bridge all the money in the world. I agree with that. And it is easy to see why it's fast, reliable, cheap, potential ledger for CBDCs. However, all is a big ask, so I'm going to be working off XRP controlling a 14% share of the 87% money in the world. Why? ISO 222. ISO 222 estimates that it will be supporting 87% of financial transactions by 2023. Ripple 2020, also cited by ISO 2020. Involved in ISO 222 includes Cardano, Algorand, XDC Network, XFin Network, Ripple, Fix Protocol Limited, ISDA, ISITC, Omega, Omgeo, I don't know if he said that wrong, Swift, and Visa. Wikipedia, you can check it all out on Wikipedia. Then he goes on to do the math. This is all hypothetical. 14%, $105 trillion, 1,050, and then down here it says, remember, this is all hypothetically speaking and just a theory. However, the numbers are here, And if these events play out, there's a lot of potential. This is not financial advice. Do not buy or sell. Anyway, this is the ISO 222 theory. There you have it. Okay. Now, and look, like I said, this may not be right, but I've never believed that we're talking about something under $100. Never. And won't for XRP. Never. Okay. Now, speaking of things that are not written in stone, this caught my attention this morning. Yesterday, John McAfee died in prison, or he supposedly committed suicide in prison. Okay. Well, there were immediately all kinds of John McAfee conspiracy theories, but somehow this morning, this one came across my desk. This is from Andersell back on April 20th, 2019, the Great Ripple Conspiracy. What if it all leads back to Ripple and David Schwartz? This would shake the crypto market to its core if proven to be true. In the last couple of days, we've witnessed speculation that secret creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, perhaps might be David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple. This is just recent coincidences. I make no claims to what, and neither do I. Whether it's true or not, listen, coincidences. 1, John McAfee allegedly tweeted out that David Schwartz was the creator of Bitcoin and quickly deleted the tweet. Love for Crypto, who's a legendary guy in this, and others covered the tweet. What happened to this link? A real XRP boy said he seems they removed the tweet and changed the URL. I believe it was a screenshot of McAfee pretty much saying it was Schwartz. It was something like the only one it could ever be, and here's the tweet. Satoshi is and always has been the only person it ever could be. Joel Katz, the time is now. And for those of you that have been around a while know that David Schwartz filed a patent on, I don't think he called it blockchain technology, but he filed a patent on what looks very similar to what's going on today with distributed ledger technology back in 1988. You can look it up. And again, I'm not saying that this is right, and I'm just saying it was interesting to me. The Great Ripple Conspiracy. Now, listen to what they say here, because I've been telling you, listen to me. Look in the description of my videos. I've been telling you I opened a Roth IRA with iTrustCapital, and I opened a SEP IRA with iTrustCapital so that I could invest in some of these cryptos. They've got Cardano on there, not XRP right now, but XLM. Some of these I've been talking about. You can roll your 401k. If you get fired or leave your job, you can roll a 401k or part of it into one of these, into an IRA there. But listen, I want you to listen. Remember, the whole financial system is transitioning over using digital assets. I know we're right, but if you just think we're right and you just wanted to do some, I want you to look, okay? Listen to what they say. This, to me, if you never hear any other reason to open an iTrustCapital IRA, I want you to listen to this CNBC. Listen to it.
Public article, a new one, published this morning, highlighting how tech mogul Peter Thiel turned a Roth IRA account into a $5 billion tax-free piggy bank. Robert Frank joins us now with more. Well, let's talk about it, Robert. What a brilliant move right at the outset to see that this could be done and how it paid off. It's really an outlier, but there's quite a few of these guys that got a couple of $100 million, not $5 billion, but they've grown these things to a couple of $100 million.
Yeah, I mean, Warren Buffett, Bob Mercer, both of them have tens of millions in these accounts. Let's just go back and explain what this is. As you mentioned, the second in this series of articles from ProPublica looking at how the wealthy use loopholes in the tax system to lower their income taxes. This article says that billionaire Peter Thiel used a Roth IRA to shelter billions from taxes. The report saying Thiel grew his IRA from $1,700 in 1999 to $5 billion in 2019. Now, if he waits to withdraw that money until he turns 60, that will be in 2027. He can start withdrawing those funds without paying any income taxes on that as it has grown over that time. Now, most IRAs have a limit of $6,000 a year in annual contributions. That was installed just to prevent this kind of abuse. But Thiel was able to get around that by basically buying shares of...
Wait a minute. How is it abuse for Peter Thiel to follow the law, open a Roth IRA under current tax law. How is that abuse? This is part of the sick world we live in now. To call that abuse, the guy did something legal and got lucky and happened to hit on the right thing at the right time, and it turned into $5 billion. That could not, I'm not saying necessarily $5 billion, but with digital assets, this is the reason I've been talking about. This could happen not on, or hell, even on that scale, it could happen. You don't know. With digital assets, when there's regulatory clarity, nobody knows how crazy this is going to go. My contention is it's going to be to the tune of the kind of crazy you're seeing in this video.
Of PayPal at the time, which he was a co-founder of back in 1999, he paid less than pennies per share for that. And then as the value of PayPal exploded, the value of those shares exploded tax-free inside the IRA. And therefore, that is why now, in the future, at the age of 60, he can withdraw it. Of course, the Roth IRA, which was created in 1998, was aimed at helping middle Americans save for retirement. The fact that now it's being used as a tax shelter for billionaires, clearly likely going to lead to some calls in Congress for some kind of reform, although it's hard.
So in other words, change the rules, because that's a reason more than any. If you haven't opened some kind of thing like a Roth IRA through an iTrustCapital, do it yesterday. I mean, that's the way I see it, because if you've already got something set up under current law, hopefully they can't change that on you. But these people will try to change these laws when they see stuff like this. And who knows, maybe they're highlighting this for the purpose of trying to change the law, which is why I'm glad I've already done it. It just makes me furious when I hear stuff like that, when they try to paint. This guy followed the laws that are passed by Congress, and now because he got rich off of it, he's somehow a bad guy because when he did something that was completely legal, and these guys are going to try to paint it as some awful thing. We live in a sick world. I mean, this is awful. These people ought to be ashamed of themselves. Now, okay, this is another one of my sponsors. iTrustCapital is too, but I'm also a customer. I'm also a customer of Unstoppable Domains, and they're a sponsor. So they have just cut a deal with these guys. I don't know if they cut a deal or just formed a partnership or what. Blockchain.com. And Blockchain.com has 31 million registered users across 200 countries, and they can now send funds with a simple human-readable username instead of a full-length wallet address through this integration. Unstoppable Domains and Blockchain.com are making it easier than ever for anyone to use crypto wallets. So you're going to be able to send with your .crypto, and probably not just .crypto. They're starting to sell all these others, .coin, .wallet, .bitcoin. You can go and get these now. They're starting at like $20. I got like 5 or 6 so far, but I'm looking at getting one of these .x. I'd like to be digital asset investor .x. I think that would be a cool one to have. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that Peter Thiel has a $5 billion tax-free piggy bank. And you could have a huge tax-free piggy bank.